one of South Africa's fastest growing cities, with tens of thousands of people moving to the region annually in search of opportunities. For a great number of people without financial means, this then means that living in informal settlements, the number of informal settlements increases every year, and
I feel, how do you feel when you are a disabled person? We need a right place, not like this one. I'm here now to fight for the right of the people.
Like many other countries during the past century, urbanization took place at an aggressive scale. 25% of people were living in urban areas in 1921, and this doubled to 50% in 1980 for South Africa. Many projections indicate urbanization will reach 80% in the near future. Many rural to urban migrants come from impoverished and underdeveloped rural communities. They come to the city in search for better economic opportunities and education. This said, urbanization comes with various consequences we will explore. By 2014, 23% of the urban population in South Africa were living in informal housing settlements, or shacks. These are generally built poorly out of tin and other materials. Living in informal settlements in South Africa is dangerous and uncomfortable. There is often no sanitation or plumbing, no running water and no electricity. Furthermore, urbanization in the last 10 years has increased the number of South Africans relying on informal accommodations.
It's time to wake up and do this thing.
The Borgen Project interviewed Imran Bukas, a senior research associate at the Orwell Socio-Economic Research Institute in South Africa, and political analyst for various Durban news stations and papers. He identifies urbanization and unemployment as key drivers of poor access to housing in the country. From 2007 to 2017, the percentage of South African residents living in urban areas had risen from 60 to 65%. Bukas believes that the cities tend to represent hope for a large portion of the impoverished and unemployed population. Unfortunately though, recent migration has caused overcrowding in urban areas, and the national and municipal authorities have been overwhelmed by the influx. Another issue faced is that the informal settlements in South Africa are unregulated and therefore are often built in dangerous locations. City bylaws mandate that these shacks be removed for public safety reasons. The Reconstruction and Development Program, RDP, introduced by the ANC government in 1994, set up a government-funded housing program to house low-income residents. Okay, so right now it's still morning. I've got a bit of bedhead, but we're gonna be investigating the informal settlements of South Africa, or just the informal settlements around this area. And we're also gonna be talking a bit about informal settlements today. So tune in and join me on this hike with my dad. Between 1994 and 2005, the government had built 1.8 million brand new basic government houses as a part of the program.
We've not started the hike.
We haven't even started it.
Go ahead and start the move. We just started the hike now.
Jeez. Since the program was introduced in 1994, around 4 million houses have been built and allocated to needy families and individuals. Sadly, the progress has slowed down in recent years, and the government is unable to keep up with the demand for RDP housing. In some areas, housing backlogs have led to extensive waiting periods for free government housing. This issue has perpetuated the existence of informal housing settlements or slums in and around South African cities and townships. Over the past several decades, informal settlements in South Africa have grown in size and population. Wow. Some issues related to urbanization, and this links up with your geography section on it, are lack of planning, housing shortages, overcrowding, traffic congestion, and problems with service provision. But let's talk about the growth of informal settlements and associated issues. Well, it's a major problem in African cities, not just South Africa. It's the inability of the government to provide adequate and affordable housing. Most people don't have access to formal housing and live in unplanned informal settlements which lack in services. There's a lack of infrastructure, a lack of social amenities, lack of clean water, lack of proper roads, lack of electricity, and it requires management.
But these are the informal settlements. It's quite lively here. As you can see, lots of noise, kids playing, and there seems to be electricity, even though it doesn't seem like there's infrastructure for that here.
Growing up in the concrete jungle.
There seems to be a makeshift electric line here, power line. As you can see again. If you look at all of this from afar.
So one solution to the problem is creating new towns or planned sites, and these are built to ease the housing shortage and provide work. All aspects of development are determined before construction begins, so it's sustainable development.
Oh, we've got a bit of a garden happening here. So this is an on-site visit of this informal settlement. We're gonna make more observations and speak about it more once we get home. But for now, I'm gonna keep on capturing more content of this area.
New towns aim to decentralize urban functions and populations, stimulate economic growth, so create jobs, provide housing and community services for the growing population.
This is not the first time you come here, nah?
Yeah, no. I call it the reality check hike.
The reality check hike.
Human survival.
Ah, true. I know you've always wanted to bring me and my sister on these hikes. So now I'm gonna film this and bring it to the world. And they have a little bit of a field for soccer and some sport here. That seems to be some sort of toilet or disposal area. that they've made. It looks like some of the people here are migrant workers that actually might have a better place to live back in their hometowns, maybe in like places like Limpopo or something, which is a rural area. What do you think, Dad?
Yeah, most of these people are economic migrants.
Economic migrants.
Yeah, coming to Gauteng for better opportunities, for jobs. So we failed to create job opportunities in the rural areas, so everybody will flock to the cities. That's what creates the problem. Look how the electricity infrastructure is set up. And there's still cables, they come and use them here. Very dangerous. This is a live wire.
Wow. Just look at that. Hope you guys can see that. One thing I will say though is that behind the informal settlement, the mountains, just the nature is actually really, really beautiful. And it's almost a callback or reminiscent of a time when these informal settlements were not so rampant. Shows you the sort of recreational activities people do when the mountain isn't occupied by these informal settlements.
And they have the following planning goals: creating open spaces and green areas, making proper roads, suburbs, parks and land uses planned from the start. Physical, economic and social aspects are all integrated, and some have no function other than residential.
We just got blocked because there are wires stopping us from moving through, because it looks like people have just come and plotted, arbitrarily just plot their land here, it seems.
I'm at the mercy of the world.
I guess I'm lucky to be alive.
Even some say life is hard. can't receive any government relief. Won't you please give Mr. President my honest regards for this regarding me?
I think most of the people that are in the informal settlement are economic migrants. Most of them will leave the rural communities to try to seek better opportunities in the cities.
Okay.
So I think as a country we fail to industrialize the rural communities and create job opportunities there. So everybody will eventually flock to the cities, and it's not only a Pretoria issue or whatever there's job opportunities people will flow there. Is that because people are impatient and want to survive, want to put food on their tables. The government is playing catch up, so that's why you will find there's no infrastructure, because it was not land earmarked for development or anything.
Yes.
People are, so we are falling short.
They're playing catch up, basically.
They're playing catch up, yeah. That's a problem. And this is not going to be sorted out until we sort out the economy. Unfortunately, this is going to continue.
Jeez.
And this type of rural settlements are just popping up everywhere in the cities, everywhere. Joburg, Pretoria, Durban, Cape Town, everybody where there's like a bit of economic activity, people are flocking.
The economic hubs, a lot of informal settlements tend to crop up there.
Yeah.